Hi, we're Laura and Dan. We've bought a beautiful rustic Portuguese barn and have literally zero knowledge of building and farming, but plan on converting it into a beautiful off-grid homestead. Follow us on our journey. Hey everyone, today marks the start of our off-grid journey building a homestead. The land is just over 1.5 acres in central Portugal, overlooking the mountains. What drew us to this piece of land is that it has a beautiful rustic barn which we're planning to convert into a beautiful tiny home. The barns in this region are over 100 years old and built in the traditional Portuguese style. It's very bare bones at the moment and needs a lot of TLC. There's no plumbing or electricity and there's a lot to be done, but we chose this piece of land because we wanted a project. So we've just arrived on our land. It's a little bit more overgrown than what we were expecting. So I think one of the first jobs is to get a strimmer and to clear all this out. The weather's quite overcast today, so it's not as intense and sunny. The last time we were here was in the winter, so everything was dead and not blossoming and the grass had just been trimmed. So it's been a little bit of a surprise to kind of see it as it is at the moment. But it's been really nice to kind of be back in Portugal and experience the smells and the scenery. You know, I think Portugal has its own smell. You don't really get that in Spain or France, but yeah, it's been really nice.
Oh yeah, it's a massive...
I know. Look at welcome gifts. So we've just been speaking to the neighbour and he's given us some massive courgettes as a welcome gift.
We used a lot of Google Translate, which was funny, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, we kind of got the gist of what he was saying. Something about trimming.
Yeah, something about
which
trimming.
we need to trim.
He said, mucho hayo, strimo.
So we've got a polytunnel here. That's the first task we're going to do, is get a polytunnel up so we can unload the van and all the things and tools and stuff that we've got in the van and the building materials to put inside this polytunnel so it's free from the weather and the elements. The polytunnel is a great place to store stuff for our future projects. As you can see, we've picked up some wooden windows that we picked up for free before we came, and a door which we also picked up for free. With it being 4 months since we were last here, Dan decided to check the level of the well water. The water level has dropped 2 foot since we were last here, as it's now the summer season. This well is going to be our main source of water, so it's good to see that even in the summer it still holds a lot of water. When we were last here, this was a stream. It's overgrown a lot, but we're looking forward to cleaning it all out and exposing the beautiful stones again. So much of the land is overgrown since we were last here. The olive trees need pruning. I actually like how the barn is nestled behind the long grass. It adds a lot of character. We were nervous opening up the barn for the first time because we weren't sure what little critters had decided to call it home. Dan, being a typical man, he sent me in first. So before we left Portugal 4 months ago, we decided to kind of unload the van, all the heavy stuff that we didn't need to take back to England, and so we'll put it in the barn. So we've got some fence panels there, and we've got like some some clothes and some bodyboards and stuff that we didn't really need to take back to England. And we've covered it over with a tarp, so it's going to be interesting to see if any mice have nibbled through them or anything. Yeah.
Are you looking forward to putting your hands underneath the crevices underneath the wood?
No, I'm not even looking forward to lifting that tarp up. I was just like, oh, I don't want to do it.
Or I'm going to be doing the job, I bet you.
It's time for the great unveiling. Have the mice and rats nibbled through all our stuff? Let's see.
There's a nest.
Yeah, so it looks like they've made a nest on the bodyboards.
There's nibbled the bodyboard. Bring the bodyboard over.
Okay, they've had a good nibble on the bodyboard.
And there's a nest.
Yeah, they've made a nest there.
So this is all our stuff that we left to empty the van before we came. And as you can see, there's a nest there. God knows what else is underneath there.
Mm-hmm.
We left a lot of fence poles here for future projects, so we're going to have to move these now so we can kind of get this. There's a good base under here that I want to use further down the land to put up the metal shed, so we can get all the tools laid out so we can really start getting to work on the land.
Mm. What about me? Oh, there's an umbrella there, we can use that for shade. Show me, there's like gloves in there.
So I'm just in the middle of doing these breeze blocks. Like what we're doing is preparing a few of these breeze blocks ready to build the shed, for the base of the shed. And as you can see, there's a little nest just in there. Probably some a little mice or a rat or a snake or a lizard.
Scary. So we've just uncovered this beauty underneath all the nests and crap that was in here. It's an old gate, so what we're going to do is we're going to use this for the base of our metal shed because it needs to stand on a wooden base, so we're going to get this down to the bottom of the land and build the shed on it.
So what I'm doing here is I'm utilising all the old wood from the barn that was left by the previous owner. There's some really good pieces of wood here as well. So what I'm doing is I'm utilising it, you know, and just making what I can of it. So I'm making a base, as you can see here, for the shed to sit on.
After the wooden base was built, it was time to start putting together the metal shed that's going to store all of our tools. This is going to be a good foundation for all of our projects in the future. It was important for us to build a space where we could neatly store all of our tools and equipment to make them easily accessible when building on the land.
By the way, the thing that's going to go over the top. The thing over the top's going to hold it down.
See that?
Alright. Put one here though.
See that thing?
Yeah, it's fine. The thing's over the top's going to... cockroach?
I think it's a dragon.
Just a baby cockroach.
No, it's a baby cockroach. It's like a dragonfly or something.
Bellissimo.
You need to go through the front doors and lift it onto the back. The shed's finally completed. We've still got a few more screws and stuff that we need to put in it, but yes, the main frame is up. Some of the metal's quite bent and warped because we didn't have any instructions and we kind of just had to improvise and drill pilot holes for a lot of it. We carried these sheets of metal in the van with us as we travelled through Europe, so they're some of them are a little bit bent, but she's steady, she's not going anywhere, she's going to keep our tools safe. And yeah, great success. So now that the shed's all up, we're going to line it with plywood on the inside to make it a bit more structurally sound. At the moment, it's just kind of got the base of that old wood that we utilised from the barn. So we're going to line it with that plywood now. We're going to start cutting. We started this job at about 8 o'clock this morning. It's now 7:45 at night. So I'm looking forward to getting this done, but it is the summer solstice, so it's the longest day of the year. That should be.
The reason why I wanted to put down some plywood on the floor is because I wanted to give it a good finish, because the reclaimed wood that we used before was obviously good enough to create a base, and obviously save us quite a bit of money, which it did. But at the same time, the wood is quite it's quite unleveled, so to make it look better, and also just to level it off and finish it off. So I'm thinking in the future, for example, if I've got tools in here and I'm cutting, I don't want the floor to be unleveled. Screws fall down, things fall down. I don't want them falling between the gaps of the wood that I used. So it was good to kind of line the floor with a bit of ply. And the reason as well why we hurled this shed all the way from the UK all the way across Europe for was because it was so cheap. Because these sheds in Portugal are very expensive, and also even in the UK these are more expensive now. So we bought this second hand. So it's been a bit more of a job, but it's definitely been worth, to save us a bit of money.
So I think it's about 9:30 now, and we've just been packing away from the night for the night, just after doing the shed build. And we heard a grunt from over there, and we had a look, and there was a wild boar just munching away over there, and it knew we were here, and it wasn't bothered. It just kept munching backwards and forwards. So we don't know a lot about boars, but we've heard that they can be quite aggressive. Dan took some footage of the boar and hopefully got a good shot of it to show you guys. But I've heard that putting like shoes outside is meant to deter them. I don't know if they just don't like the smell of dirty shoes or something.
I think it's cheesy feet they don't like.
Yeah, maybe they don't like cheesy feet. But I don't know what we can do to kind of deter them. I think just trimming the grass is going to help, because we're going to be able to see them better. And I think one of our future plans is to put a fence up around the boundary so it makes it harder for them to get in. But yeah, something to watch out for, definitely. I don't want to startle a boar and have a boar attack us. Portuguese problems.